Hey everyone, welcome to Peak D&D. We are back in the studio for a new campaign. We are going to be doing a session 0 with our players who are joining me around the table, and I'm behind the screens for the first time. I'm Ben, if you don't know me from the channel already, and we are joined by our players here. It's gonna slip out all the time. I'm gonna go into like podcast mode.
It's cool, man.
So starting over to my right, let's start with this bespectacled fellow.
Hi, I'm Max. I'm one of the players.
Great.
And then
I'm Will.
Introducing.
I'm Will. I'm also one of the players.
Fantastic.
And I'm Tony, the third player.
Yes.
There's Tony on the screen. You're up here.
Well, I
Well,
can put,
we're gonna be
put me wherever
Oh,
I
shit,
want.
you're going to move it wherever. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So we are starting a third campaign. If you've checked out our first campaigns, which were based on the DM layers, starting with Into the Fae, and then we did our own thing with our gone but not forgotten former DM Nick, who's living in Washington, his best life. We wish you the very best, Nick, of course. And today we are using. We did our own second campaign that ended a little bit abruptly, and now we're going into campaign 3, utilizing a new system, a new TTRPG. If you're familiar with the Dungeon Coach, Alan, shout out. The Dungeon Coach is creating a new role-playing game called DC20, and that's the system that we're going to be setting this campaign in. So we have an original Peak D&D setting that I've sort of been played in 2nd edition and worked a little bit on. This is now way further in the timeline of this world, so we're going to sort of figure everything out. So I'll start with a little bit about the world, and then some of the key factors, key players in the setting, and then maybe we can even get the map up on here so you can sort of know what we're talking about.
I got you, bro.
I'll just point. I'll hold it up.
Yeah, just right here. It's right here.
You can't
Please.
see that. I've
Aw.
tried.
So-
We tried that gimmick.
Welcome to the world of Argilia, a land of constant change and untold adventure. Argilia was formed thousands and thousands of years ago by the gods themselves. They walked among their peoples, or so the legends would have you believe. Now we are in the Vortorian Empire stage of the world of Argilia. The main world consists of 3 main continents with a chain of islands throughout. We can show the map here as it currently exists if we can. And where we will be focusing is the central continent, where the Vortorian Empire has established itself on the world of Argilia. It is a conglomerate of about 7, I think, nations that are forming this Vortorian Empire. Some joined very willingly. Others have been politically motivated in other ways to join the Vortorian Empire. The Vortorian Empire concerns itself with one religion, a unifying religion throughout the land of the one true God, Vortor, and which is a departure for the world of Argilia, which very much was steeped in the lore of the Icostheon, the 20 gods that made this world to begin with. Again, that is all faded into legend and is more superstition than anything. The Church of Vortor has the light of Vortor that can be spread amongst the people, and that is their main concern and their push to expand the empire, to share this word of Vortor with everyone else, the one true God. There are many temples of Vortor that have replaced many of the fanes throughout the world, the temples to the old gods, the 20. And in most places, to the vexation of the church, there is some remnant of those old religions. People know the gods' names. They are whispered in hushed taverns and in small covens of people, while still operating as upright citizens and members of the empire and the church. whether or not how much stake people put in the existence of these gods varies by an individual. Magic still exists in this world, and it is studied rigorously at the Citadel Arcanum, which is in the realm known as Zarian, which is sort of the capital region, surrounded by various other places that are places of industry or farm and resource rich, and some are sort of wastelands that are home to roving bands of barbarians and nomadic peoples as well. There's a vast and varied culture no matter where you go. Some characters have had more experience traveling this continent than others. And magic is approved by the church and studied by the church, but also controlled a bit by the church. If people are showing signs of innate magic, they are usually adopted into the Citadel Arcanum and trained, or they are otherwise dealt with if it proves dangerous to the populace in the area. So this is sort of the world that we find ourselves in during this period of time on the central continent of Argilia in the Vortorian Empire. What doesn't occur to most people to think about is the existence of the elves. The elves are seemingly absent from most culture in the Vortorian Empire. There are a breadth of races and ancestries that exist in here. Gnomes and dwarves, dragonborn, people who have connection to realms beyond our own, the angelborn, the devilborn, giantborn, half giants that walk amongst people, towering feet above an average human size, and small folk as well, including gnomes and halflings and smaller folk as well, cat people, lion people. There are many various races, but seemingly no elves. The elves have not been heard from for several thousand years. And about 2,000 years, as a matter of fact. And as legend would have you believe, that was the end of the last God War, when the gods left the world of Argilia and went into the upper realms, where they perhaps still hold sway on parts of the world of Argilia. And 2,000 years have passed since that time of legend. And recently, there has been a herald, a contact has been reestablished. Apparently, the elves left the central continent where the Vortorian Empire has taken root and live in their own world, in the land known as Inara. And they have been living there for presumably 2,000 years in addition. They sent an envoy to a port city in the land of Zarian called Jorva, which is where we'll be starting our adventure, the city of Jorva. This elven envoy, seen for the first time, elven ships of elven construction, seen for the first time in thousands of years on the main continent, and they extended an invitation to the Vortorian Empire, to the realms of other human-like species. There is a great event happening in elven culture. There is a coronation of a new elven oracle. The oracle is the seer for the elven people. They are the religious and political center of their culture. And the previous elven oracle had passed away, as elves do after thousands of years, hundreds of years, and a new one is to be appointed, is to be reincarnated and born. The spirit of the oracle is born into a new elf on the passing of the other one, which for elves doesn't happen that often, centuries and centuries apart. So the elves have reestablished contact with the main continent, and they have invited the best of the best, an envoy from the central continent, to join them for this coronation. And your characters will have passage on this ship, this caravan on the sea, if you will, that is going to this uncharted land that previously no one really knew about. They had heard tales of that the elves lived in distant lands, and no one ever thought they would be going there. It is nigh impossible to reach by normal means, even magical means. Any party that has set out to find the lost elven continent has never returned in 2,000 years. So this sudden appearance of the elves is a bit fortuitous for many people. The various motivations would probably encourage people to start on this journey. So what I want you guys to think about as we introduce our characters is the reason you are going on this ship. Why or how, what conditions would exist. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Of how do you get so lucky that you are one of the several hundred people chosen to go to the land of Inara, the elven, to see this coronation happen, this sort of gesture of goodwill from a previously unknown, perhaps political ally, perhaps an enemy, perhaps there's a lot of different motivations going around. So that is the spiel on Argilia and sort of where we will be setting our first moment of events. This is our moment before, and we're going to dive in with our characters. So we have a little bit of an idea of who our characters are, how they work mechanically, but I'm more interested in their stories. Who would like to go first? Should we roll for it? Should we roll some dice? Who's going to go first? All right, we're rolling a d4. 1, 2, 3. I'll re-roll a 4. We're rolling dice. It's a 2. Will, you're up.
New guy.
Let's
go.
All right.
So tell me a little bit about your character. You sort of, we've talked a little bit about this, but for the people at home.
Sure. I am a human male. My name is Orrin, Orrin's son. My mom calls me Ori. My dad calls me Junior. His name is also Orrin. I am wearing a senior city guard's uniform of heavy plate armor. I have a round shield. I have a sword on my back. I have about maybe a half ponytail with blonde hair coming down on me. Yeah, that's my character. I come from a trades town, maybe in the breadbasket of Argilia. My parents ran an apothecary. That's where I grew up. I was with my parents in the apothecary. The name of the store was the Apothecary Store. They never made so much money, but I got used to working with little tinctures and little potions and religious trinkets here and there. That's actually how I got interested in jewelry making. I was tasked with going over to the blacksmith and fashioning these religious trinkets for Vortor and some of the Icosithion trinkets. And that's kind of how I learned how to tinker. And sometimes I would take those specific ingredients or those pieces, those elements, and I would make little trinkets for my friends, things that didn't really have any magical properties or anything, but I would tell them that they would, or I would pretend that they did. Yeah, I was in the city guard. Still am, actually, because I'm wearing a city guard uniform. And what else do you want to know?
Cool. I would actually like to try, I'm going to spring this on all of you. We're going to sort of talk through a scenario that leads you up to how you got headed towards Jorva, which is where this envoy, that invitations have gone out and things have happened, and it will try to tie it into some of these other stories as well. So you're in the city guard, and you there is a missive that comes into the town. I'm thinking, if it's okay with you, there's a town in Para called Larian that's very heavily forested and is still sort of part of the produce, but it is a pretty heavy trade town. It's near the border, and it's on the coast. It's one of the several coastal cities in Para. So if we're talking about Larian, you're in the town guard. It's sort of not a huge trade, not a massive trade city, but a very important one to this area. All these crops and things are coming in to and through this city to be sent on ships to other places, or it's in the middle of a pretty big crossroads that could then take it to the north, or the bordering areas of Zarian, which is of course the capital region, and has a lot of people there, so there's a lot of resources going that way. But a missive comes into the town that is talking about, and it's from some noble man that you're not 100% sure who it is, but it is it tells the whole story that we just went through of like the elven envoy is here, and there is a post that needs to be filled. And this person is directly addressed to your captain, right? And you this missive says, hey, we've obviously these two people have a history, your captain and whoever this noble man is, and they're asking for, I need you to send your best and brightest to protect this young wizard boy who is going on this journey. And it is basically, calling in a favor. Like, hey, I'm a rich dude. We go way back, maybe some military service or something. What does Orrin do with this information? Does he wasn't supposed to open it to begin with, but he decided to read this note because it came from a pretty heavily guarded military or maybe another town guard or something. But so what does Orrin now do with this information?
Well, I haven't been following the rules a lot lately, so opening this and reading this letter is pretty par for the course recently for myself. I tell the person that's carrying this letter that I will bring it to the captain. Thank you so much. I immediately get what I think is a good thought in my head, that I am going to assume the role of this protector.
Do you think you would have been chosen if you had given it to the captain? He said, send your best guy.
Quite the opposite.
Okay. I'm good. Just wanted to see where we were. All right. Fair.
The influence is strong in this one.
Yeah. I don't think my time in the city guard is long for this world. And so, I'm going to take this letter and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get out of Larian.
Okay. Yeah. So attached to this letter is of course like basically your golden ticket. The bearer of this message has been chosen to fill the guard position that's going. The protector, sort of the role for this. There's apparently some young wizard who's like very high up and studied in the Citadel Arcanum. And
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah. Are you so you're packing up and leaving Larian
very quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, should I get into it?
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it.
By the way, gotta leave soon.
I am not wearing a senior guard's uniform, although I am wearing my heavy armor and I do have my shield at my guard's post where I received this letter. The first thing I'm going to do is go and get a senior guard's uniform, which I assume is the uniform of a person who would have been chosen for this post.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run by the blacksmith's place to grab a sword. I know he's finished some swords, and I know that I need a nice one, and the city guard ones that at least I've been given
like standard-ish, probably not going to cut it with a...
And so I'm going to grab a sword from the blacksmith. There's a necklace that my mom gave me that I'm going to grab real quick, and I'm running out of town as quickly as I can on the first caravan or first ship to this area. To where are we going?
Jorva.
Yeah, the first ship or first caravan to Jorva, I am out of there. And as I'm leaving, I should have written my parents a note.
Okay, so we're just like disappearing in the dead of the night or something.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. Fantastic. So Orrin, with his sort of made up identity as false, like he is now the bodyguard of some elite high up wizard, manservant. Sure.
I am a trained swordsman. I am
Yeah,
in the
you have
city's
some
guard.
Yeah, you've had some training.
Maybe I can do this.
Right.
I
Okay.
can sword people.
Great.
Yeah. Slashing, I think, is the.
Yeah, that's not the. Okay.
So that'll segue into Tony, actually, because that's the let the dice tell the story. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
So tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
your character. If you don't have names and all that stuff picked out yet, I know you were still working on it.
I found one that
Okay, great.
I am not mad at.
Great.
I like it. It fits. Yeah, so I am a young wizard. My parents are pretty well connected in the city. I am in Jorva. Jorva, is that correct?
Jorva, yeah.
Jorva. I'm in Jorva and at the Citadel Arcanum, and I think I'm kind of they noticed I had a really strong magical sense very early in life. So I have been in the Citadel a lot earlier than most people and a lot younger than most people. And I'm kind of like have shown prodigy-like arcane talent. So they taught me and kind of groomed me up to make sure that it didn't go terribly. So I didn't get like whisked off to wherever they whisk off terrible people go. Because I've seen some kids go
Dangerous magic users.
dangerous
So,
magic
you know,
users, and they thought that I could be in that, but they want to hone me in, and
Yeah.
I think I've been doing a good job of that. Parents are well connected, and that's kind of where I am right now. Yeah.
I think, may I offer?
Am
I think your father specifically
Yeah.
is very well connected.
Yes.
Like, is probably one of the noble, like top.
Probably on the board.
He's on the board. The top 1% of Jorva, at least, if not like.
He's probably on the board of the Citadel.
I
Arcanum.
imagine he probably goes to the capital city of Zarian City quite frequently. If that jives with what you're thinking for this character.
I think
But
he's on the board,
he's on the board at the Citadel.
or he's a
Arcanum,
very, very
He's a donor.
wealthy donor.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
He's
he's
the
He
like
can go to
auditorium.
all the sports ball games for free.
I was gonna say, yeah, is the auditorium named after your last name?
Yeah.
spell ball, spell ball.
Speaking of names, I am Ravi Atmar.
all right, Ravi,
Ravi.
I like it.
Oh, sure. I've been to the Atmar Observatory
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
Of those Atmars?
Yeah, those are Atmars.
very
Yes, I'm that Atmar. Are you Michael Jordan's son?
cool. So you've been
Gates?
studying. How does Ravi feel about his magical studies? Is it easy for him? Is he like bored? Is he a troublemaker? Is he completely studious? And is he like a true wunderkind prodigy, the perfect?
I think
child?
I think it comes easy for him, but I think he likes to experiment and be creative with how things go. Not experiment to a dangerous point, but kind of get creative of how things can work. Because he's also very interested in the history of the elves and the elven community. So, and knowing that the elves wielded a pretty strong sense of magic. So trying to harness what that thought process and what that approach to magic would be like.
Mhm.
But like, typical homework test kind of thing or whatever that looks like in the City Arcanum, it comes easy, but he tries to maybe do it in a little different sort of way. So yeah, just to push the envelope a little bit,
Interesting. Okay.
which can come off as maybe devious or not devious, but like, little
Mischievous? maybe?
mischievous a little bit, but not, he hasn't, I guess, not that energy, but sometimes it can come off that way.
Okay. So do you stay at the Citadel, or do you has
think
your
I
father pulled strings that you can go home? Like, because your house, I assume they have.
I
some
suppose
sort of manor.
how does the Citadel usually function in that sense?
I think it's sort of like Magic College,
like
to
boarding
me.
school.
Yeah, it's like I think that some people stay there, and some people, if they have the means or the connections, can probably
Gotcha.
kind of.
Have an apartment in
They,
town.
yeah, they have an apartment
Live off
in town.
campus.
Yeah, they live off campus.
Live off
yeah.
campus.
So like,
You want to come back to my place?
exactly. Like you throw the big weekend parties or something when your dad's at the capital and your mom maybe doesn't.
I think
Isn't there?
I think I toe the line of having well-connected parents. But I think I like to stand on my own. So I think I'm at
Sure.
boarding school.
Okay.
But you have your own room. You don't have a roommate.
Don't we all have our own room?
You guys don't have your own room?
Awesome.
You guys don't have roommates? You guys have roommates?
Awesome. You
Yeah.
share a
Okay.
bathroom?
So we'll say that your father contacts you, whether it's he's just returned from the capital and is sort of sends you a note to the school or something.
Magical
An
note?
owl
Like a
carries it in
message?
or something.
Like message or like a physical note?
I don't know. Is your dad magical? Is he a wizard as well?
Hmm.
You want to roll for it?
No, I think I think he is, but I think he's like, like D minus C plus student. Like he got through college, but he's not, and he thinks he's like really good at it. He has skill, obviously.
And you're
but
just
he's
like, okay, Dad. Like we
Yeah.
haven't used that in like 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
your magic is really
yeah. So I think
Okay.
I think he's like adept, but not.
okay.
He probably,
More of a political manipulator.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
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 He probably right.
oh, I would say like he was like your coach growing up
Yeah.
and was
Yeah.
just like,
Kind of like you're better than me, so I'm gonna like
push you hard
push you
to
hard
be,
to do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, he has a modicum of magical
Yeah.
ability that he's demonstrated. So you get sort of a DM in your head. Bloop. He's like,
I thought I blocked this number.
he's like, Ravi, you, come by the manor later this evening, please. It's happening, and that's about it. Cuts off. It's like a voicemail.
You had like 8 more words to spin.
I spent them all in this last sentence explaining why I couldn't.
I guess is it like daytime?
Yeah, it's like you're in the middle of you knew he was probably just getting back from the capital, and that day he
Okay.
was expected. So it's probably mid-afternoon, something like that. If he had stopped for the evening before, and he stops about a day, day's travel away.
I'll message him back. I have class till 6. I'll see you at the manor for dinner. Hope all is well. Say hi to Mom. Can't wait to hear. Do I have 5 more?
I don't know. I'm just laughing at your need to fill them all.
Yeah. Not knowing how message works in this game, we're assuming
Right.
it's the same as everything else.
Hear the
I think
news.
it is. I think I have it.
Yeah.
It's not that
Love
far away.
you,
Anyway.
Dad.
Love you, Dad. Okay, great. So it sounds like you have a pretty good relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. This is the very antithesis of a typical D&D party. when,
yeah.
Like everyone has a family. It's weird. But I love it.
No tragic
Okay,
backstory,
so that night you go
yeah.
to dinner. It's a little, you guys are like high society. Your family is
Okay.
is pretty they are nobility. You guys have a grand dining hall and probably eat there kind of awkwardly, like on this super long table
Sure.
sometimes.
Very stuffy.
Yeah, very stuffy kind of house, but not without care and love in that house. But I think it's just their position in society sort of makes it a little bit stuffy and formal in a way that is just part of your life at this point. You don't really, it's not particularly out of character. It doesn't feel cold to you, but everyone else will look, and this is very austere and weird for everybody else. So you guys are having your dinner. Your several servants have come and gone and made some food and things. And your father is sort of eating impatiently and getting through this dinner. And he's like, Ravi, the elves have returned. And I was just at the capital. I spoke with one of the council, and you have been chosen to go to Inara, to the Lost Continent, to study magic with the elves. I cannot tell you what this means for our family and for you as well. This is absolutely incredible. I am beyond excited for everything that you will learn there. And I well, what do you think about this, son? I'm completely, my mind is blown. The elves have returned. We thought they were gone. We thought they weren't even real.
Why?
Well, why Why you?
Why have they returned?
Oh, why have the elves returned? Well, that's a very important question. We think it is something to do with their oracle. The elves have this seer, right, that can see the future in great detail, and many have supposed that the elven oracle is the reason that the elves have stayed hidden for so long. And what, needless to say, anything you could find out about this oracle or their culture in general, I mean, just the cultural opportunity alone is worth this great honor that has been bestowed upon us.
I've like opened books and like I'm flipping through stuff and
Yeah,
writing
you're
stuff
like,
down.
you have there's some bookshelves just in the dining room because you guys are very academic.
No, like
types to
in
this thing.
my knapsack or in my backpack.
Oh,
or
you just
whatever.
like whip
It's
out
like
your
my
yeah.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of like tomes of ancient elven lore, really kind of just like,
Well, when am I supposed to leave? No one's informed me at the Citadel.
well, I wanted to be the one to tell you. I asked them not to pull you out of class. I knew you had a big you had class until 6, as I believe your message relayed, and I didn't want to interrupt you. But
And I missed meatloaf night.
yes, well, I'm sorry. The dormitory does leave something to be required. I haven't named that after us yet, but I will, and I'll improve the name.
Please don't, Dad. We have enough.
Oh, it'll be so much fun.
Yeah, but
We already have a spell ball arena. We have a 2 libraries now, I think. Is that right, dear? Yeah, there's 2 libraries. Your mother just sort of rolls her eyes a little bit. Just sort of used to these
Otmar
kinds
1
of
and Otmar
conversations.
2. Which Otmar are we meeting at?
Yeah, it's North Otmar.
Oh.
Come on, I was in the, not the South. Oh, that's all medical stuff. Where did we? Come on,
It's all medical. It's for the clerics.
that's the medical library. It's for the clerics. Dang it. Great. So your conversation. Your dad tells you that it departs in a week's time, and then he says, "And I have arranged for, as you are still a young wizard and a young man, I've arranged for my good friend from Para, no less. He's a captain of the guard over there. He's sending you an escort, a bodyguard, to keep you safe, and he will meet us at the docks at the departure.
Curious why I have to
when
be
the ships
kept safe. They've invited me.
Well, I can't send my one and only son out. Do you have any siblings? I didn't ask.
Dad, come on! He always does this. Right? Beat this family. Storms off.
My sister's right here.
Oh, yes. You.
So
Right.
you're not
Slugger.
wrong. One and only son.
Well, okay, only son. Right. We have a daughter, of course. Yes, and how are your studies going, sis? What is her name?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
But I feel like I have a younger sister.
Okay, you have a younger sister. Maybe she's just too young to go. Maybe she's like very
No, yeah, I think she's like 6.
Yeah, she's like 6. Well, obviously your sister can't go, but like she's 6. But my son, you're still
You
a
make
young.
it sound like I'm the only child.
Sometimes I do forget myself. Sometimes I apologize.
The only one he cares about.
Clearly.
And I'm never going back there. That'll happen. So he says, "Well, my son, you are the premier student, and you've shown more promise in your several years at the academy, at the Citadel, to warrant your spot in this envoy. We have to make a good showing. We're sending both political envoys. We're sending those that are skilled in magic to learn more from the elves. We're sending soldiers. We're sending merchants. We're sending historians and cartographers. It'll be an envoy, a fleet for the ages to really,
Yeah, and I'll
truly
just be lost in the mix.
reestablish."
No one's gonna do anything.
Well, you have been. I have a few connections, and there is a small group of people that will be at the Elven court and brought before the Oracle to sort of establish relations with their political figures. And of course, we need a representation for our arcane inclined representatives there. So.
Yeah. That's
But
fine.
I have to keep you safe. We don't know anything about these.
I kind of have that
elves.
attitude of like, why are you treating me so different than everybody else?
Right. Yeah. So he's like, well,
Yeah, that's fine, Dad.
perhaps I care too
All
much,
right.
but I want to make sure that you're safe.
All
And
right.
I've called in this favor for a quite an elite bodyguard to come in and really make sure that you're protected. Who knows who else is going to get on this ship? All right. So
How many books do you have about psionics?
Psionics, you say? Now that's interesting. Do you think you might be gifted in that area as well?
No, I'm curious how they'll affect elves, because it's known that elves aren't really produced by charm or sleep, and psionics is a mental stability. So I wanted to read up on that the next week just to see.
Sure, they might not be a good. We'll check one of the libraries. I think, was it 2, dear? Yes, we'll check the other one.
Now, what about our personal?
Oh, our personal life. Oh.
Do we have any psionics?
Well, he kind of looks around. He's like, I could give you access to the basement library if you're so inclined. That would, we have some tomes that are more archaic, a little older, not as deep an understanding of magic as we have now through the light of Vortor. Bless his name.
That's his name.
Yeah. But
yes,
it might be worth
bless
looking. Yes, bless him. It might be worth you taking a look. I'd be glad to point you in the direction of
you never know, just something different. Something different on the.
Sure. Well, it's settled. We leave in a week. You leave in a week. All right. So that will cut to over to Max's character. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Max.
Man, I'm just here to share in the light of Votor, and I am just out here sharing in the groove, y'all. It is good to be here.
Excellent. And who are you? Tell me a little bit more about that. I love everything you're saying. Keep going.
My name is
Allstein, everybody.
Yeah. My name is Julius. I am the third born in the Walla family, and I'm a proud member of the Church of Votor. Man, my dad's side has been preaching for years upon years upon years, and we have had the most opposite upbringing from our good buddy Tony. Like, I grew up as just big religious family. Like I said, third born. And so firstborn son is definitely funneling into that preacher role, and grew up as an itinerant preacher. And so we traveled around a lot, spreading the good word wherever the church sent us. And that's really the trades that I grew up learning. And my mom, yeah, so since I was the third born, and Church of Ortor, big on gender roles in that traditional society. So there's a whole set of expectations that the church wives are supposed to hold down. And luckily, so my older sister got pretty much completely funneled into that, and older brother got funneled into dad's path, and that left me to just get in where I fit in and freelance and sort of learn a little bit about everything. I am a scion, which I'm kind of making some assumptions here about where, how common that is on this continent, in that it's not that common. And my whole thought was, they tried to push me toward so angel born, right? So natural with the healing skills, and obviously, pushing me toward the church. But it didn't really the path of the cleric and all the learning, it never really took. But ever since I was a kid, there have just been, I have done weird things that no one can really explain. And I am here trying to learn more about that. To me, I just hear things and they're right. So, a story they like to tell is, I walked into a room when I was toddled into a room when I was 3, could barely put together sentences, but my parents were having this kind of heated argument, and I walked in and instantly said a complete full sentence that diffused the entire situation. Ooh. And things like that just kind of happen. I don't know, I hear this voice. And so, some say it's the voice of Votor. I don't want to be too presumptuous about all that, but, I'm not entirely sure how we were given the opportunity as a family to be on this boat to Elfland, but I am excited to be there and hope to learn more. And I was the way that this is written, scions have some class features, And my thought was that I don't have access to those class features yet, like the Mind Blast, like the telekinesis, because
they're sort of latent abilities.
yeah.
Maybe come out as the story permits. I think that's
sort
that's
of
a great
where
idea.
I was. But I still have like those spells because like Scions can cast a couple spells, and so like there's a bunch of like Charm, Sleep, Bane, like that sort of stuff.
Nice.
And so yeah, I like, grew up in the church and big happy family and big on outreach. Like
there's not a single orphan among you.
Yeah,
So
no,
what are we
and
gonna
like
do?
that's the thing. Like I'm probably the person that like I will find the person who's sitting alone on the boat and be like, "How are you, friend?"
So obviously the church wants to have some representation in this envoy, as they are. It's sort of a theocracy, right? Like the Vortorian Empire is sort of ordained by the Council of Vortor, which is like the 5 people who sort of represent the 5 aspects of Vortor, and everything comes down from on high from the ecclesiarchy and the various religious / political arms of the church. And there is an emperor that sort of oversees everything. It's really more of a figurehead, and the council really has most of the power. And you would know this, like sort of having grown
That's good.
up
I'm
in
learning
the
it
church.
now. This is great.
Yeah. So like this is
Tell me
all-
more about these 5 aspects.
Yeah.
No, we can do that later.
So, we'll get into that. We will.
We'll do that later. Yeah.
Yes. But so this is definitely like a delegation from like the local, probably like your regional ecclesiarch, right? Like the person who's a heartbeat away from the capital and the council, like, but oversees sort of your whole area. Which, have you decided where your character wants to be from at all?
Oh, I was going to leave it up to you, like where we last, like I said, traveled around a lot, but like in my mind, 3rd generation house, like we live with my grandpa and older brother and his wife, who's pregnant, just got assigned on their first, like in the sticks preaching gig.
Okay.
And so I was going to leave it up to you kind of where Pops settled.
Great. Yeah. I'm not.
The bad place.
Let's say you're in the bad place.
The bad lads.
I'm gonna go with let's say
He's gonna make up a city.
I'm gonna make
Yeah,
up a place.
That's fine.
I think you're in. I'm gonna go with Duran, which is sort of that northern area.
Cool.
And that's sort of where you guys ended up being sent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. It's an old like dwarven
Great.
region of the country, but it's been since settled by just about everybody.
Sure.
And you guys are in a let's say you're in a place called Rajo, which was Raajo. And that is we're on the outskirts of this town, but Rajo is sort of an old trade post for what was the dwarven kingdom that was there, and now it's a bustling sort of center of of trade and diplomacy. Mostly, it's mostly like a political space for folks to be. You guys are on the outskirts of that, sort of in the wilderness outside of Rajo.
Okay.
It's sort of a not a unwelcoming climate, but a bit desolate. And there are some small villages and things. I think that's where you guys have sort of taken up, in a small village outside of Rajo. And but everybody knows that, like, the Temple of Vortor here, which was a former temple of Duran, has been converted into a temple, and that's sort of where your family has taken up holding their various duties here in this village to sort of help be one of the people. It's a small hamlet is sort of where you guys have settled.
Yeah.
With access to a larger city that you probably go into and minister to those folks as well. Maybe that's like where your brother is preaching in one of the larger temples in Rajo itself. And maybe,
Cool.
But he's still close to home because probably your mom and dad wanted to keep everyone maybe a little closer if they could.
Sure. They love grandbabies.
Yeah. So one day a wizened old man wearing the blue and gold regalia of the church, and his entourage of other clerics and priests and stuff rolls into town, and is seeking your father, who's sort of the maybe the figurehead, religiously speaking, of this small hamlet that you guys have settled in outside. And he is, you guys roll out the red card. This is like, you don't get a visit from this guy every this ecclesiarch very often, and it's usually like big news, like someone's being reassigned or your family's moving again, right? And this time he asks to speak with your father in private, and you guys have already set out the food and the cakes and all the welcoming things that you would do to a visiting dignitary from the church, or for that matter, probably anybody who came to your door would be shown the proper hospitality and reception.
Oh yeah, no,
just welcomed with open arms.
We feed lots of people.
Yeah,
soup kitchens and
out in the community, really doing Vortor's work,
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, exactly. And he calls your father in, and your father has a study or something in a small house that you guys live in, and they are in there for a few hours, and sort of, you don't hear any raised voices, but you definitely hear some hushed tones of maybe his excitement. And then after maybe in hour 3, there is the door slides out of the way, and your father says, Julius, would you join us in my study, please?
Be right in, Dad. I'm going to finish doing dishes with Mom.
Okay, great. So you do that.
Yeah. Finish like washing the dish, then drying it, and then go on in.
Okay, you
roll for dishes.
Roll for doing dishes.
Well, actually, one of my trades is
add your trade bonus for that. You have combat mastery in dishes.
I was thinking. Yeah, I do. I do actually. Laugh it up.
Let's give this guy a name.
First roll of the campaign, home ec.
Yeah, hey man, you're gonna appreciate this later, okay?
We haven't even met yet.
We haven't even met yet. So Ecclesiarch Morton is this guy's name.
Oh, great.
And he beckons you in, and he sits down, and he sort of has a look of consternation on his face, and he says, "Young Julius, how old are you? You're like." Still at home, but so not like 40. Are you in your? How old are you?
I was thinking like
Orange
probably
Julius.
like mid-20s.
Okay,
yeah.
So still sort of young. It's certainly and compared to this man who looks like he's made of shoe leather, is
jeez,
you're at least
your words, God.
Yeah, he is old. He is like, he walked in. It took him about 5 minutes to make it through the door,
Of course,
and into the study. He says, young Julius, good to see you again. Your father and I have been talking of matters of the faith, and we felt it was appropriate to bring you into this conversation. Would you please sit? Young Julius, you of all people know of our calling, our higher calling, and you yourself being touched by the light of Vortor from an early age.
When I hear higher calling, I just kind of glance at Dad real quick, and then back at him.
Yeah, your dad, make an awareness check. We're gonna roll some things. Do you have dice?
How do I do that?
We are playing.
I am going to.
I'm just throwing this in here for fun.
Yeah, no, I got you, Ed.
But
I got
D20 plus your however many ranks you have in awareness.
Plus the prime.
Yeah, plus your prime.
Cool. Pretty sure that's going to give me a 7. Auspicious start.
No, auspicious start. Your dad seems he doesn't really give you any reaction when you glance at him.
Cool.
That you can perceive. Yes, well, we have been blessed with an opportunity, and I was just speaking to your father about it. A great mission has been brought to the church, and we have chosen you to represent the church on such an endeavor. Yes, you're old enough finally to be able to go on a mission without relocating your family. Your older sister and your older brother have gotten their ordainments from the church and have moved into their callings, and yours, my son, is very, very auspicious at this time. Vortor himself has seen it fit to bring the elves back into the fold of the Empire. Yes.
Elves. Golly!
Yes, quite amazing, quite amazing.
Elves.
They are in their own way seeking the guidance of Vortor. They have their so-called oracle, and that torch has gone out in their previous oracle, and now a new one is to be appointed, coronated, I believe is the term they used. But they are a lost people. They need guidance from the church. They must be brought into the light. And it is no small task that we ask of you to bring the light of Vortor to the elven people, and to just learn of their ways. We must protect the souls of all in the light of Vortor from falling to the underforce, of course, as is our calling. So, young Julius, will you represent the church on this endeavor and go to the land of the elves?
I will do my best. This is kind of a lot to take in.
I understand.
Am I the only person charged with bringing these heathens to the light?
There will be others from the church.
Oh,
and
good.
they will be. We have consulted with the Council of Vortor, and your family has made quite a name for themselves as great healers and ministers of the faith. And your brother has already received his charge, your sister also. So you are next in line, my son. And you have been chosen from a very early age to be blessed by Vortor with many, many gifts, as we have seen time and time again. I know you feel a bit unprepared, but you will be forged in the fire and the light of Vortor as you move forth with your mission. If you stay true to your convictions and you move with the grace and the light in your heart, nothing can stand in your way.
Well, I appreciate your belief in me. I'm feeling a little yellow right now. I know that sometimes you gotta jaboo, and I'll go. If Vortor is calling, I'll go.
Yes, and I can't thank you enough. We will give you all the resources the church has to offer, which are quite substantial.
Oh, all I need here are my nunchucks.
Yes, the symbol of your office. The holy nunchucks of Vortor.
Yes.
He does a little blessing on them. They kind of glow for a second. It's kind of cool. And then they just
Throw
sort
some
of
water.
Yeah, this is like. It says, great. And so he takes his leave. He spends a few the afternoon with your family, and just sharing small talk and things like that. He came from the capital of Zarian City as well, so he's come quite a ways, and he eventually takes his leave. And that evening, your mother comes to your room, and she knocks on the door gently. Julius, are you awake?
Yes, Mama.
Yes, my son. I heard what happened with the Ecclesiarch Morton.
Like I said, I'm a little yellow. A little nervous about this.
I understand. Greatly, my son. You and I have always had a bit of a different understanding of the faith than perhaps your father and your other siblings, based on sort of my background.
Well, I understand.
Right? Yes. Well, I know we've talked about some of the texts that I had that I was aware of when I was a younger minister studying in the church, and some of those things we agreed would not see the light of day again until we thought perhaps it was time. And I think now is one of those times. And she reaches into her coat and pulls out a book that's wrapped up in a multicolored sort of silken cloth. Very kind of interesting on it. And there seems to be some kind of embroidery of an animal of some kind, like a four-legged beast of some kind. And she hands you this book. And she says, I want you to keep this close. And when the time comes, you'll understand when you might need it. I wouldn't share this with your older brother, whose name I forgot. Because we have bad parents in the show, apparently.
To be fair, like
I forgot your older brother. You
there's
gave me
like
all that today.
seven.
They're all alive.
There's like
Yeah.
7. They are all alive. Here, I can give you the family tree in a
They're just
second.
a
I just
little
switched to
aloof.
a different. Oldest brother would be Elihu.
Elihu, yes.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily trust
it goes
Elihu with this with the proper context of this text and maybe what it means. But I think more than your brothers and sisters, you might need this a bit more than they. And the if I can find. And you know what the book says. You know what the book is titled.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And, so she sort of says, "I will miss you, my son, and I will be praying for your safe return every day you're gone. But I know that you will do great things." And she leaves you for the night. And you can unwrap the book if you would like to.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to say some prayers
Okay.
to Votor and then sleep on it, and I think I'll wait to open the book.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Max knows who it is.
Yeah.
Julius doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. Excellent. Good. Thanks for jumping in and doing a little role playing with all of this, guys. Whew.
Yeah, you did great, man. You did great. You did
Cheese
great.
and crackers. Just testing those waters.
Never mind.
Great. So we've learned a little bit about Ravi and Orrin and Julius, and we have a few more questions that we can cover tonight,
Oh, no, more
or we can
role-playing.
do it, or we can jump right ahead to letting fate decide. We have
Spell duel.
spell
wait.
duel.
Not yet.
Great. And then let's. I think we covered quite a bit, and I think we'll learn more about these characters. I would like you guys to go through the questions that I sent and have those answers, because we might do a little bit more later. Jesus Christ. Get out of here. So
Get out of here.
so there are some
Don't look at it too much.
some additional
Oh.
Those are my secrets.
some
No, I won't look
additional
at your
secrets that we have to figure out
Secrets.
tonight. Secrets. So, what I want you guys to do, I guess we'll take a picture of this because it's not going to be on camera. But there are 20 dice of various kind for you to take. I'll take a picture of it. Hold on.
I mean, we could do it after the cameras
I
are
read
off
that wrong.
too.
No, because you're going to pick them. So you gotta
Oh,
like.
okay. Yeah, fair.
The-
You're right.
Said your
The
character is
orientation
getting
will change.
taboo. I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Oh, you know.
Great.
what it means.
Okay. So you will pick a dice, whatever may appeal to you,
Okay.
and you will roll that dice twice, and you will let me know what dice you're picking,
Dice
and
is
then
so nice. We roll it
what
twice.
Bubba bubba double bubble.
what you roll. Yeah, on 2 different rolls. You get
Same
you get
dice, 2
roll-
times.
Same dice, roll it twice. Who wants to go first? Should we roll again?
Yeah,
Or just
roll
the
it.
same
I'll
one?
do it.
Oh, new guy.
All right,
Stepping
now
on
stepping
up.
forward.
No,
I
do it.
was just saying that because it has been me.
Oh.
All right.
Well, we'll roll for it. This time it's Tony.
Ooh.
Tony gets first pick.
Man.
I wanted that one.
Yeah, no, don't pick that one.
Yes, you may choose.
Can they be chosen by all of us?
No, once you
Once
pick
you
it,
pick
it's
one,
no
it's
longer.
gone.
So you get 20 choices, everyone else gets 19, and then 18.
Ah.
Oh, of course, the rich
My dad
kid
pulled
gets
some
to choose.
strings.
Oh,
That's what's up.
Oh, which library am I at now?
Yes.
That's good. I look real forward to meeting you and being like, I've never heard that name before.
I'll be like,
Do you know who my father is?
Yeah, probably.
You're just every Harry Potter character rolled into one human being. You're just like,
yes.
you're a little bit of Malfoy, you're a little bit of Harry Potter.
A lot of Hermione.
Yeah, a lot of Hermione in there, yeah.
Yep.
Why is this so hard?
Oh, man, because it's going to be...
I think this one's pulling to me more.
Do it.
This one. Ah, the red
crimson,
and
red, black.
one. Yeah.
Red, black, marbled.
Great.
All right, roll it 2 times.
You have a demon inside.
Yeah,
of me.
exactly. Oh, cool. Death Song. Sweet.
Yeah, you got Death Song.
Or I'll
again.
just be like, "Bleh," and some red guy will come out.
Yeah, exactly. The man inside you.
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
I did
Let's
write.
study it.
I did write the Cane dice, so I know which one it is.
Oh, yeah? Oh, was that actually Kane's?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Kane's
that's
dice
awesome.
from the last campaign.
So I am gonna have a man inside.
We'll
No,
see.
they all mean different things. now.
Twice.
Yeah, roll two. Yeah, roll twice. Tell me what you get each time.
11.
On 11. Okay.
11 demons inside you.
That's a lot of demons inside.
That was your first roll. Was an 11. Okay. Second
That
roll.
was my first roll.
Come on, doubles. Come on, doubles.
3. That would be cool.
3. Okay.
Do I
We'll go
keep-
through everybody, and if anything happens immediately that you need to know about, I'll
Do
let
I
you know
keep this?
beforehand. Yeah, keep the dice.
Okay.
Keep it. All right. And then we got to roll between.
Ooh, roll off.
Get my dice right with demons.
Okay. Get your dice right with the demons.
Max.
I like it.
I kind of wanted to pick the
You're
wrong
up.
dice. But I was like, hey, I've been there, done that.
Oh, man. Do I? I'm torn because one of those is actually like a dice that Nick gave me. So part of me wants to choose that one, but part of me
Yeah, marinated it in it
also
for a
wants to
minute.
choose this one.
All right.
Ah.
Which one
Clear
is
with
that?
blue.
Oh, the clear and blue. All right.
Sky clouds.
Julius.
What was it? 14.
Oh. I added up to that much.
14.
And 4.
Ooh.
And
We're both double digits and single digits so far.
Ooh.
B. All right. That leaves Will.
Come on, man. 20 and
Sorry,
1.
Orrin.
Come on, man. 20 and 1.
Yeah, right. Just,
Or 2 20s. Or 2 1s.
or just doubles.
Purple, gold.
Purple and gold. Beautiful.
Is that gold? Silver?
Yeah.
I'm a
Dig it.
jeweler.
You're
Roll it twice.
Is that purple or gold? Yeah, we'll call it gold.
so, are you good at what you do?
I don't have access to the finer metals. 8
An 8. That was your first roll. Okay.
and a 10.
And a 10. Great. I love everything about it.
Oh shoot! What are my rolls?
You rolled an 11 and a 3.
11 first and 3 second.
11 was
Do
first.
we write
3
these
was
down?
second.
I don't know.
I've written them down.
How many demons did it say?
Yeah, there's you have 11 demons in you.
Oh, cool.
18.
Just
demons.
kidding. Okay. So with the let's turn you in first. So
Good thing I'm meeting up with a
anything
missionary of Votor.
immediately.
Have you heard the good word?
I have actually, and I have some thoughts.
It's interesting because I might too soon. For point of reference, Ben, have Mom and I had any conversations about any of this, or did she just drop all of that with the book on me?
You knew a little bit about like your mom was sort of like non-traditional in the church because the two of you have talked at length about some of the things that you're able to do, and she sort of
Okay.
has explained that
So-
might have something to do with
Different.
me and
Okay.
yeah, like
Cool.
my family. Nothing like
So was it
super
like,
deep.
yeah,
No
here-
great
here's this
secrets have
crazy
been
secret
revealed
right now.
Yeah.
Have
Right.
fun,
Exactly.
bye.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
But she's like,
yeah.
so you knew that she had some
Yeah.
older
Her history.
texts and
Yeah, okay.
histories
When
and
you're
things.
older,
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that was sort of always just when you're older, when you're
when
ready.
the time is right.
Okay. Cool.
So she sort of felt like this was the time. All right, so
For one of them,
Yeah. Just come back for more.
you gotta come back for more.
Mom's copied the Kama Sutra.
Mom, I don't need this.
Interesting. Okay.
Tell us
So
all about it.
Tony, your
Oh, boy.
might score goes up by 1. Unless it's already 3 and it's capped. But I doubt it.
Yeah, of course I did.
No, but that means you get more hit points and like.
Yep. And that's all that
I
happens.
just wake up like Spider-Man, like,
Whoa. I have an extra pair of abs.
where did those come from?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And
That's so
let's
weird.
see.
Being rich is
So-
awesome.
Has its perks.
Hey, dude, I'm happy to be friends with some rich wizard.
Oh, so I
Oh, that
I have
works.
9 hit points now.
I don't know how that's going to work out.
I love like
Is this for Max?
That
No,
Yeah, this
works.
is for Max.
I don't know how that's gonna work out. I have nothing but faith in you.
I don't think that's going to. It's not immediately visible what that's going to do.
Okay.
A red tail.
Yeah. Right. It is the will of
And you
Votor.
roll a 4 on your second one.
14 and 4,
Nice.
maybe.
I don't know if that one's gonna work out either.
yeah. Exactly. You want me to pick a
Oh
different
my
die?
god! I love it. I love it. Nope.
Great.
All right. Very cool. Okay, and then so nothing immediately changes about your character with those.
I definitely have a demon living inside.
And then,
My might went up instantly. Like, that's not
It
good.
has nothing to do with the dice that were rolled.
yeah, and then it's just I just decided you need. All right, and then you.
Oh. Oh.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go on a limb and guess
What?
it's not coincidental.
What?
The Icostheon. Did I say that right?
Mhm.
Icostheon.
What is
And
it?
the number of dice that are in that tray.
Oh, son of a...
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
Here, where's the thing?
It's right here. I'm gonna count.
about.
now.
Your
We're
movement,
gonna figure out
your movement goes up by 1.
Ooh.
I'm as fast as the wizard boy.
I'm as fast as an elf.
You better be, because
Yes.
you're my caretaker.
That's
so-
actually.
Can you please wait up for me?
Oh, I got a stitch. Oh, I
Too
got
bad
a
I
stitch.
memorized Misty Step.
Okay. Great.
I'm
All
sure
right.
these
And
aren't
with-
in any order, right?
Yeah, not at all.
I hope
Uh,
so. I'm gonna figure it out. My
Okay.
studious fit is
Your studious wizard brain is gonna figure it out.
my wizard
Yeah.
brain is
Yeah.
gonna figure it out.
So, with all of that done, that is our character creation and session 0 come to a wrap. Now it's time for any questions that our players have about how we're going to run the game, anything like that. Yes, young man in the front.
Will it be fun?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Thank
what
God. Thank God.
That's the goal. Is we're just
Thank
gonna have some
Votor.
fun.
Thank
Hey,
Votor.
So,
Praise Votor.
Praise Votor.
For the fun that we're having.
Bless his name.
Bless his name.
Yes, praise him.
Yes.
All right.
Praise it.
Any other thoughts? Final questions. So next episode, we will be picking up with our very first episode of Campaign 3 in the city of Jorva, awaiting the departure of the Elven envoy back to the Elven lands with the Vortorian Empire in tow. So we'll see you next week. Make sure to tune in. Thanks for checking out this episode of Peak D&D. We'll see you at the peak.